Hey, YouTube friends, thanks for stopping by the channel. For the last 4 days, I have been riding at beautiful Blue Mountain Resort here in the great state of Pennsylvania. Been super enjoyable riding, really have had a great time. I want to walk you through my observations, both from a van life perspective and as a newbie beginner mountain biker, what I thought, how much I enjoyed it, where I saw some issues, and overall just why I think it's a great place for you to ride if you're a beginner or intermediate mountain biker. Let's get into it. Today, I'm at beautiful Blue Mountain Resort in Pennsylvania. It's a ski resort in the winter, bike park during the summer. The park map looks awesome. Looks like there's several beginner trails and a lot of intermediate trails. We've got lessons planned for several days. I'll be here for 4 days. I'm able to camp on site, so I'm camped really close to the bike park and the chairlift to take me up. Super stoked to do this. I'll take you guys along for the ride and give you my perspective as a beginner mountain biker. So I'm at Blue Mountain. We're about to ride our first lip serve terrain. Super awesome. Just a quick tour of the outside. You have some food trucks. Tent. They do have showers available. And then you have the lift operating. Not a lot of people here on a Thursday. But super cool. Before I take you up on a ride, I just wanted to show you a trail map real quick. There are 3 really long blue groomy runs. There's also some blue technical runs. I did do 2 of the blacks with a trail guide. One of the nice things about this resort is they have trail guides on standby to take anybody who asks to go on a ride. So if you've never been to a trail before, they'll show you, which is great. They do the thing where they have an upper king tut and a lower king tut, so the numbers alone aren't really a good measure, but there's a solid 3 nice long blue runs. There's little runs at the bottom. In addition, there are jump lines and things like that are fun, and then there's an equal number or more blacks, and there's several greens, so you will not run out of terrain here as a beginner intermediate. I just wanted to show you a few of the rides. I try to give you guys a basic flavor of these rides as opposed to telling you anything else. But what I liked about Blue Mountain was the rides, particularly my favorites, which were King Tut and El Camino, had a nice berm banks that you could kind of flow around and a nice mix of jumps. So you felt like you got a diversity of terrain. You see I'm jumping here, right, a little bit and doing kind of a jump line and then back into a berm line. But there was far enough space that as a beginner, intermediate, I could do both of those and not feel like I was one on top of the other, which always feels a little scary when it's jump berm, right? But it was nice and flowy. I always felt like I was in control and having a good time. And that was the fun part. And I did utilize the trail guide. You just saw him on the side, and you see him in front of me showing me trails that I've never been on before. So I think that's super cool to have somebody that's willing to show you those things and paid by the resort to do it. So if you're a single van lifer like me traveling alone, you actually have somebody with you the first time you do a trail. Some other things to note about Blue Mountain. I'm not going to show you too much of this because it gets boring, but a few other things to note about Blue Mountain. They do have some hand-cut technical terrain like what I'm showing you here. This is called Wild Turkey. You can tell there's a lot of rocks and root gardens that you can ride, and so it's still groomed in the sense of it was hand cut. It's not natural, but it was hand cut. You feel the difference. You can tell the difference. So if root gardens and rock beds are your thing, you have a ride here. I personally want a groomed experience in a bike park. If I want that, I'm going to go somewhere that has a beautiful view. So the other thing I wanted to get into is kind of how deserted this resort was and the campground. So let me show you some of that. So what I'm showing you now is footage I took from my drone on my first day here. You can see the mountain, and right now you're looking at kind of the facilities for the mountain on the right hand side of the screen. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of facilities here, and if you look in the far distance, you can see that the parking lot is empty. Now granted, I shot this early in the morning, but the truth is that parking lot basically stayed empty. Now again, I've been here during the week. I understand that that's probably not a busy time for folks to come, but it stayed empty, which is really nice, right? Because on one day, I asked, and there were only 10 riders riding the mountain who weren't employees. You also got these views. I'm kind of showing you the sweeping views. Obviously, this is taken from a drone that didn't go nearly as high as the mountain. I think I set my drone limit at 200 feet. So the maximum that drone is up is 200 feet, and it was probably at 150 when I shot this footage. But you get these nice views of the Appalachia, of the Poconos. You are in the Poconos, and that makes kind of the rides very nice. The culture here is super friendly. They are very accommodating. The staff got to know me by name. They treated me very, very fairly in terms of pricing. They gave me some actual free lessons, which I thought was super nice of them. And as we come back, I'm going to start showing you. You can see some lakes in the background. If you're camping here, you can go fish in those lakes. And there is the ski resort / mountain bike park right there in your view. This is a view of the campground. And by campground, I'm saying that generously, I mean a gravel parking lot with picnic tables, trash cans, and a porta pooper. That is it. You pay $55 a night for that. I personally thought that was unreasonable. You can tell I'm the only person who was dumb enough to pay that price because I'm the only person camped here. In talking to locals, there are other campsites available pretty close. There are parking areas for the Appalachian Trail, and talking to some of the local folks, they basically indicate that you probably would not be harassed if you were to park there overnight. I did not personally test this theory, so I cannot personally vouch for it. But all right, let's get into what I think of Blue Mountain Resort. I really loved Blue Mountain. First of all, it had a small community local feel, which was awesome. Second, I love the fact that they have trail guides who are literally waiting at the top of the lift to take you on a journey and to take you on a trail for the first time. As a beginner intermediate, that is such a nice feature of the mountain, and they're lovely people. And frankly, being van life solo occasionally does get a little depressing, and you just want somebody to talk to and somebody to interact with. So Blue Mountain gave me that. Third thing I loved about Blue Mountain was the diversity of the terrain. I thought that as a beginner intermediate, I had a fair number of options, all of which I felt safe and comfortable on. So happy, excited, relaxed, and safe, those Vail Resorts emotions that you learn as a ski instructor, I felt all of those things at Blue Mountain Resort. Downsides, I thought $55 a night to camp in a parking lot was a little bit excessive, especially since frankly I spent a lot of money here between lessons and their pro shops and doing other things. So I thought that was a tad bit excessive. It was also kind of lonely, which was nice, but also not nice, right? Because you're sitting here kind of by yourself. I thought the facilities were okay. The showers are not actually associated with the campground. They're associated with the bike park. So when you want to shower, you've got to bike over to the shower that you're paying for anyway with your lift ticket. So at $55 a day for a lift ticket plus $55 a day to camp or whatever, I just thought that was a little excessive. You know, I'm going to put that in the guest survey. We'll see if anything comes of it. But overall, I had a great time here, great experience. I had a fantastic time in my lessons. I met some really nice people. Everyone I met was super kind to me. They were very complimentary. They were very reinforcing as a beginner mountain biker. So yes, I would definitely recommend coming here. I hope you enjoyed the tour of Blue Mountain. I hope you'll come visit. Thank you. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe button, turn on notifications, drop us a comment, and always feel free to join the conversation. Reach out with any questions or comments. I'm always happy to help fellow van lifers and mountain bikers and help you on your journey. Take care.